much stuff floating around. I don't know. People trying to say they wasn't together.
Basically was trying to get into a threesome.
Because I also was an athlete,
Right.
not that I got into that heavy depression, but, it's the pressures of what Manny was saying. People don't understand really what the athlete goes through to perform. Yes, they love the game. Yes, they love the work ethic that they put in to be great. But then it comes time to perform. And when they don't perform in the manner that they feel they should, 125%, that affects them.
Right.
Even though it's a game. It's a game to the fans that are watching it, but it's more than a game to the athlete. It's their love.
Right.
It's like their husband, their wife, it's all they know. That's just like a boxer, even though he's punch drunk, he's still going to go out there and give it all he can because that's all he knows how to do. Same thing. Watch the movie Rocky. Rocky, that's all he knew how to do. And when it comes to a prize fighter, that's all they know how to do. So when they lose, they could either accept it or they could go into a mental depression because they can't achieve what they've been trying to achieve all their life.
And also, let me talk about this. You say that this is what they love to do, but also, in some cases, this is what they have to do. This is their livelihood. This is how they pay bills, keep food on the table, keep the lights on, and pay child support in some cases. But still, this is where they make their income. Because once the game ends, and they know it's going to end, they have to find a way to continue to make an income because, let's be honest, I don't know if they can make another $40 million a year after they retire. So they have to find a way to do something. And sometimes that pressure in itself is just insurmountable.
Yeah, so now you're trickling in to other areas when it comes to enhancing drugs so they can keep that. You see what I'm saying? And that affects them mentally as well because now they're putting something in their body to help them achieve. And what type of reaction is that going to give them? Mentally, is this also destroying them? Because now they feel they don't have the ability and they think if they take something else to enhance their ability, they can reach that plateau.
Right. And even this part, what a lot of people don't realize, like you said, Tom, they're taking the medication. They don't realize when they start doing that on the football field, the fan, but at home, they hurt their families because you hear so many men in domestic violence dispute. And it's crazy because, like you said, on the field, you're glorifying them. They're doing the right things. But then at home, why do you feel like it's necessary for you to hit your spouse? Like that's a whole nother, arena itself,
Yeah, that now the onion is peeled back and you start to see, you don't see the onion anymore. You see something else.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh my God, I thought he was a real nice guy. And I thought she was a pretty lady. And I didn't think she would go that way. Again, they're human beings.
Thank you.
Okay. They're not exceptional human beings, where you may see a program where you have a human being, but he has super strength, that's of course that's false because that doesn't happen. But this is how we portray our athletes to be, that they are superhumans, instead of saying they're a human being and that they can suffer the same type of illnesses that we suffer as human beings. We don't recognize them as human beings.
Right.
And shame on us because we want them to provide us with the best type of baseball, best type of basketball, best type of golf, what have you. Look, even though Tiger Woods is still, broken up, he's old and he's trying to recover. People still want to see him, the old Tiger. It's not going to be there. And even Tiger wants to see the old Tiger. It's not going. He has to accept that I'm not going to be first, but I'll be okay with being 10th.
Right. Two things I'm gonna piggyback with you, Tom. So you hit it on the head about with people bringing their unrealistic expectations. I say this all the time. The only thing that separates us from the people that's playing the field is that they might have more zeros in a bank account. But like you said, they're human just like us. They have feelings just like us. And then I also understand from the aspect too, they have a lot of pressure on them because the owners have pressures on them because the people at the top is expecting them for the wins because there's a lot of money on the line. So if you really want to think about it, everything boils down to money. It's like F your mental health. My money is on the line. So you better perform.
Hey, look, again, I could tell you even at the collegiate level, I remember I have pulled my Achilles tendon, and I'm getting ready to play a championship game in an invitational tournament. And I'm dragging my leg running up and down.
You're on one leg.
One leg. And the coach, as I'm running by the bench, says, "God damn your foot, Jones, play."
Wow.
Now, nobody will believe that. Nobody, he didn't say that, Tom. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
As I'm actually dragging my leg, trying to play. God damn your foot. Another one, another college, I'm there. I'm sick. I don't feel good. Why aren't you practicing? I really don't feel good. You think that's a good idea, Tom? I'm like, I don't feel good. What do you want me to do? Well, I don't know if everybody gonna like that. He ain't talking about your teammates. He's talking about the alumni. Okay? That when you say everybody ain't gonna like that. Okay? The alumni. Money.
Yes.
Okay? And they control stuff. Oh, okay. So, yeah, after my first year, and I'm like the second leading rebounder in the region and MVP, and the alumni says, "Here's these keys, Tom, to the car outside, the Cadillac. You got it."
Right. But I want to say this too, gentlemen, too, before we leave. I can say within overtime, UC is trying to get a little bit better. And, I'm just going to use a couple of examples as I see when Kobe passed away, right? I remember, they was honoring him and I think something was going to happen. I think they were supposed to play a game, but they chose not to. And a lot of the men on the field was like, I can't even play because my friend died. I can't even play because my teammate died. And they actually allowed them to have a mental health day. And I thought that right there was so powerful, but it took for someone like a Kobe, a legend, to die for them to implement that. But I also remember too, I can't remember the gentleman's name. You guys can probably help me out. I don't know what team he was on. This is basketball related. And he had a mental health issue, but he was really proficient in his gift. But because of his mental health issues, it played a part. They kind of kicked him off the team, and he just went through a battle, and there was a lot of people trying to root for him. But then this is when the league start implementing how big mental health is. And I think they opened up that arena where they would allow specialists to come in, to treat their team if they feel like their mental health is not up to par. And I think they need to implement that all around for entertainment, because this is entertainment. Right. This is sports. Yeah. Sports and entertainment going hand in hand. And it's very challenging.
Well, yeah, like Manny said, it's stressful for them because now they're taking care of family. Right. They got kids, they got a wife, they got a home.
Have a lifestyle that they have to keep up.
They have a lifestyle. They want to keep that up. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to lose it. So, they're going to do whatever they have to, and it could break them down if they're not performing. Here you go from the first team, now you're on the second team. Right. Now you're not even on the second team, you're on the reserve team. so your value starts going down. What am I going to do? I got a $500,000 house. I got to maintain that, pay the taxes on it. I got 2 fly cars, Mercedes Benz. How I'm going to maintain, and my kids are going to private school.
Right.
I can't. This is pressures that people don't realize, because your money, you're going to live beyond your means.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Taking care of family too.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. You're not only taking care of you're taking care of her family, your family, mom, dad, uncle, whoever. But
everybody's leaning on you for support. That can be very overwhelming too.
Yes, it can.
Because now your whole family is looking at you.
The world is watching. These professional athletes play for the world, okay? Right. And they know the world is watching. Olympics is worldwide. The pressures are enormous for an Olympian to be an Olympian. You see, they either can go in there and don't even think about it and then break down afterwards into a mental health, because it was so stressful for them. Because if you're in the arena and you see that crowd and all eyes are on you, you either do one or two things. You either are going to block them out so you can do what you have been practicing to do, or you're going to come subject to them and you won't be able to do it because all eyes are on you, and you know that, and you're paying attention to that, and that's enough for you to break down. It's already happened to Biles. It's happened to that young tennis star. They got out there and they couldn't continue because of the pressures.
Right. Manny, you got anything you want to add on?
One thing I want to add as far as mental health is, I mean, I'm happy that these, I'm congratulations, and I'm applauding Adam Silver for understanding that these players go through a lot outside of the game. Never mind the game itself, but outside of the game, they go through a lot. So yes, when Kobe passed, they had to stop everything. Not just because it's Kobe, it's because that, whether one of their own brothers in the fraternity called the NBA has passed tragically. And I still believe to this day he had an effect on the NBA because he was helping various players. But then you also have to look at the fact that, when you're dealing with something like that, it's hard for you to focus. And when you can't focus, you can't perform. And you can't perform, obviously, the public is going to notice, your team is going to notice, and you're going to notice, and you're not going to recover from that. So it's good that the fact that, yes, we need to make better care of ourselves dealing with sports, and we need to make better care of ourselves outside of sports or when the game ends, because it's going to end, at least for that person. But yeah,
you're right. It's going to end for all of them at one point in their life. And I think the biggest thing here is relationships. It's about relationships. These guys have relationships with each other. They're able to share their inner feelings when they have things going wrong. But then there's guys that keep stuff to themselves, and females that keep things to themselves. Those are the ones that are probably going to be hurt over it because they're not expressing what the hurt is coming from. But like you said, right now, a lot of the leagues have opened that up because they've seen a lot go by the wayside, and they were good people, good athletes. And so now they have to open it up, because they found out that Manny had a relationship with Kobe, and we didn't know it was that close. But now it's close, and it's affecting the way Manny's playing. Manny may need some time off. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I think the NBA really looked at it, because what you said, Manny, is that Kobe had a lot of relationships with a lot of the NBA players, even some of the rookies, and that hurt them, that he wasn't there to give them that direction and instruction anymore. So, and I think that's like that in a whole. And I think that's why they opened up the mental health gates to the players now to be able to deal with those type of situations, not only just for the game itself, but for their families as well.
Right. So I'm going to piggyback, before we leave, I'm going to piggyback off you guys because you guys said a mouthful. So going into the aspect of someone feeling stressed or the mental health is playing a role in you due to finances, it's because some of these gentlemen do not have the proper guidance in the financial area. So after they blow all that money, it's like, well, like you said, what do I do next? Instead of putting yourself in position like the legendary Kobe did. I mean, he set his family up where they'll be good for the rest of his life. His grandchildren are set up. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I need a lot of men that's in this area, that's in this arena, that's in this field, to make sure they pay attention to their finances, and to make sure if you feel like you want to transition because you no longer want to play, you need to have your stuff in order. You need to have your business in order. What you say, Tom, is all about relationships. So it's all about having the right people on your team, for they can do that for you. But you also too want to make sure what you're doing, because a lot of people have their money stolen from them. They get ripped off by these accountants. So you got to pay attention to what's going on. But again, it's all about vetting the right people to have on your team. That's really important. Right. Mm-hmm. If your finances is not in order, how can your mental health be stable?
You're absolutely right. It all comes in full circle. All of that, what you're saying, Lady K, is a big part of it as well. And if the mind ain't right, if you have certain things, especially the finances, if that ain't right and it's going, then you're going to be scraping and scrapping to try to maintain it. And your head ain't there because you're worried about losing it more than you're worried about keeping it.
Right.
Yeah.
That part. Like we said, look at the Kobe Bryants, look at the Magic Johnsons, look at the Michael Jordans. These men are set up. They don't never have to play again if they don't want to.
No.
And how many times did Michael Jordan come out of retirement just to play because he had nothing else to do?
Yeah. And Nike, he was set up beautiful when Nike came out. That was it. That took off like a jet. You know, same thing with Magic Johnson. I mean, while they was just still playing, they was already building malls and Magic Johnson theaters and come on, these guys had already been investors. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. And so when they got out the game, they was like, oh, I want to be part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I want to be part owner of my, hey, look, you got Derek Jeter from the Yankees. Same thing. What is he? Part owner, if not of Miami
Florida Marlins. Miami Marlins, not Florida Marlins.
And
Miami
this ties into, if we go back to the first part that we did with the Rooney Rule, we was talking about how a lot of these people, they don't want that change, that structure. But as you can see, when these different men, the Black men, the Latino men, when they come in, and not because they have the money, they have the power, they have the ability to change the game. So the game is being changed right in front of our eyes. It's probably going to take some time, but at least we have examples that's putting in the work and that wants their hand in this arena. But with that being said, gentlemen, I thank you. I think this was an excellent show, especially talking about everything, the mental aspect of things, the domination of this industry. But before we leave, Tom, do you have any closing remarks?
Just like that, I think this was a wonderful topic. We could talk about this all day, being that I was an athlete myself, but, like I was saying before, everyone, you can come and join our conversation on Tom Jones, our community with Tom Jones on Facebook every Monday at 7 p.m. Uni.tv and radio. Be there. We have a lot of topics. We talk about everything. And it'll be interesting for you to come and share with us your thoughts, because we also have that comment box open. So join us on Monday at 7 p.m.
Yes, and for everyone that's watching, I definitely want you to like this. Tell us what you liked, comment, and share this with someone, because someone needs to hear this today. But before we leave, Manny, what's your closing remarks?
My closing remarks basically is the same thing. Just take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of those around you. Because, yes, the sports are very much jaded when it comes to who is in power. I mean, we all know the scales are not balanced. However, it's very, very important while these playing fields are not even to take care of yourself and take care of your people around you, because they're the only one, they're your real fans. They're your real fans. They're the ones that cheering you on, even though you're taking care of them. But it's very, very important that not only you, excuse me, not only you take care of this, you also have to take care of them by taking care of this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Manny, and thank you, Tom, once again. Everybody, we want to thank you for tuning in today, this Saturday at 11 a.m. Catch us next week here again at 11 a.m. You can continue to follow us here at the Lady K Chat Podcast here on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And again, I want you to hit that subscribe button and make sure you're getting these alerts every week. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, everyone.
Take care, y'all.
All right, now.
EK.